Hello, playing some more games. Yeah, let's see what happens. Hmm. He's trying to win. I don't think his knight can escape now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have this thing going on. I'm terrible at making decisions. Um, you know, because I spent most of my life just sitting at the computer, not really living. So it's like, how do you make big life decisions when the only decisions you've made have to do with, are like which video game to play, which computer game to play, or which chess move to make, which I'm not even good at that. And school, those are the things that I thought about, you know. I was kind of obsessed with my grades somewhat. Um, you know, now I have a I have a part-time job. I was teaching English almost full-time for a while. But yeah, so I applied to go back to school to study math, and I got into a couple schools. Um, you know, but I'm just really struggling with this decision, and I have a lot of um, anxiety about it. Oh my God, this guy. I shouldn't be talking about my problems. My playing suffers when I do. Um, So, hmm, I have a sense that, I have a degree in computer science. I mean, not just I don't just have a sense of that. That's true. Um, but it's really, I've had a couple programming jobs before. Mostly, I had two internships, and I had a one job that lasted like a year. But I didn't like any of these jobs that I had, and so I sort of gave it up. Uh, I mean, I didn't. What my intention wasn't to give up programming entirely, but I stopped pursuing it as a career. I was never really pursuing it as a career. Um, I wasn't pursuing anything as a career. I don't know what I was doing with myself. Um, you know, I didn't really understand the whole idea of a career. I guess many people are probably in the same boat as young people. Damn it, you know. But oh God, he's gonna fork me again. No, he can't. So so yeah, I became an English teacher, but I've kind of hated that too. It's like it's very hard, and I don't really know what I'm doing. And you know, when I was in Russia, so I went to Russia to teach English in Russia for, well, I went to the Czech Republic and taught there for 2 years. And then I went to Russia, and okay, I did some therapy in Russia, and I sort of had this, oh, that's not a rook, this idea that it seemed that I ought to look for I met this therapist or this doctor. She was a doctor. Uh, okay. Um, oh, motherfucker. How did I not see that? But she was also a therapist, psychologist, whatever. So her name was Irina, and we talked. She was a interesting, uh, interesting approach, but which I liked in some ways. But at a certain point, we reached kind of an impasse. Like I wasn't getting anything more from it. But you know, Nice. Um, so, but during that therapy, I remember saying, well, I probably should just get a job as a programmer. We were talking about my career and everything. And, maybe that's true. Like, I feel like I'm more mature now than I was when I first tried, you know, um, when I first had those programming internships. I had an internship at Facebook, um, and but I was filled with. It was very stressful for me, and I'm so sick of this life. Um, so what am I saying? So yeah, I had this, I don't, I wouldn't call it an epiphany, but um, just a little epiphany. That I mean, look, how do you know? How does one know things are true? Like, oh, I should become a programmer. I should get a programming job. Like, I don't know that's true, but I had a feeling when I said it. I said it, and it felt right in a way. So, because money, I need to earn money, blah 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 blah, and I might be more mature now. So, and I would actually enjoy it. I would enjoy learning more about, you know, these different uh, tools that are used now and um, different, uh, yeah, computer systems and stuff. Um, I guess it would be wise to think about why I didn't enjoy my programming jobs in the past and how I might uh, find one that I enjoy more. Um, you know, I think it's important to the good ones, the good jobs are you have an opportunity to learn things and grow as an engineer. You um, have problem solving sessions and you you know damn it, I should have protected that pawn more, I guess. Well, he should still take that pawn. um, the ones that I had in the past, well, like you'd think Facebook would be a good one with it, where you challenge yourself and all that, and learn new things. And I suppose for some people it was, for some of the, I mean, it's heavily dependent on which team you're on and what you're working on, and that what you're working on aligns with your interests, isn't it? Um, but that's one perspective. The other uh, thing is I don't really care what I'm working on. Oh fuck. I just care it's fun or it's damn it, I'm really fucking this up. Okay. I get satisfaction just from getting shit done, you know. So it doesn't matter if I'm working on as an engineer. It doesn't matter if you're working on, your dream project. Your job is just to get it done. So the point there is that it just needs to be sufficiently challenging, you know, sufficiently. I think for most engineers, they're not working on their dream project. They're just, but they enjoy their jobs because, you know, um, because it's a sweet spot. Problem solving, you know, it needs to be challenging but not impossible. Um, it needs to be, uh, something that, yeah, I mean, that's the main thing, challenging but not impossible. Something that the system, here's another thing that goes with that is, you know, the system should work well enough. There should be the system should have should be performant enough and well designed enough that you can abstract. I mean, here's my philosophical tangent. Um, that it allows you to think abstractly. So, for example, if you have a system that is designed so that there's well, anyway, it's not important what I'm saying here. Um, but it should engage your abstract thought. You, that's what people like about, I think, problem solving. That's what problem solving is. It involves abstract thought. Uh, so anyway, just point is, I don't know why, at the one job at Facebook, why didn't I enjoy my internship at Facebook? That's like a dream job, right? But I didn't really even understand what the problem I was solving was, or what the specs were, or what I never even understood the, uh, like, I was on this team called the Facebook Automated Remediation Team. I hope I'm not saying anything, you know, that violates any NDAs or anything, proprietary. No, this isn't anything secret, really. I never learned anything of you know, any proprietary secrets. Um, you know, the problem is I didn't understand how the system was built in the first place. So what is automated remediation? I didn't really, I mean, I took I took a networks class. I didn't finish it though. I dropped it. I wasn't that interested in the networking stuff really, or in the hardware stuff so much. I don't know why I majored in computer science. You know, it was probably a mistake. Um, or I should have, I love, I do, love computers. Uh, but why didn't he take it? Oh, because I would have taken it. This is pretty good. All right, well, not that good, I guess. Well, I should have majored in math, um, or philosophy, probably, because, well, I don't know what I don't computer science. It made sense in a way, the choice to study computer science, but I didn't really know how to really study something with kind of intensity. You know, I consider myself an intellectual. I always have. I don't really know if I am because I don't know how to really study and absorb a subject. I know I know how to get good grades on a test, but the thing is, here's the thing about me: I'm more consumed with my anxiety doesn't allow me to really study things because my mind, I think my intellect is a slave to my anxiety, unfortunately. And that's a really sad fact because when I was in, so it doesn't allow me, and yeah, so when I was in college, I didn't really get that into it. I did my work, I did my work and got good grades, but I didn't go above and beyond, you know. I didn't do independent research. I didn't really study that much, you know. I don't remember how much I studied, to be honest. Um, like for my computer science classes. Um, this is an interesting position. Damn. Oh, fucker. But I don't think I really like studied that much. I mean, I went to lectures, most of the lectures. Um, resign. Um, but I was never that good at studying, even in high school. I just got good grades because it all came easy to me. But I didn't, I was never good at studying in advance for a test. I'm still not. I'm taking an EKG phlebotomy course, and you know, I should be studying a little bit every day, but I'm not. So why don't I have any fucking self-control? I lack self-control. I lack discipline. Uh, really. You know, um, I lack the discipline to do what I ought to do. I mean, I had a lot of discipline in some ways when I was younger. Now I lack all discipline. I can't even. It's really sad. But I can't even clean my room. I never could clean my room. But I can't even really exercise. I used to have a lot of discipline in certain things, like uh, exercise. I would exercise like I'd go to the gym like 3 times a week. I would practice drums every day for like a lot actually. I don't think I had the best practice regimen. I was sort of just playing random shit, or I did certain exercises. Um, you know, I had some discipline, but it wasn't really uh, sufficient. It wasn't the optimal practice regimen, because I don't think I improved that much as a result of it. It was just sort of, I don't know. Um, I would do. I guess there were certain exercises that, I mean, I did master. I shouldn't be so hard on myself. I mean, my practice regimen was like there were certain books that challenged me, and that I certainly, I don't know, like saw progress. That's the main thing, right? You that you know that your practice is working, is that you go from not being able to do it to being able to do it, and then you get some satisfaction from that. So there was a book, the Billy Martin's book, that really you know that was challenging, and I mastered that for the most part. Um, and I forget what his name is, the Bop jazz book, which I did for NISMA, and I got a good score on that. So damn it, I certainly fuck. Okay, I certainly my practice wasn't a complete waste of time. It wasn't optimal. To If you want to get really good at it, and I think what's his name, Josh Waitzkin, has a book called The Art of Learning or something, and you know that book, I should read that book probably. Um, but you know, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with me? You have to be involved in competitions and real competitive drive. If you want to get really good at something, you have to not only be. I mean, I did the NISMA competition, right? But who was I competing against? I didn't know the people I was competing against. Uh, I was really just competing with myself, and that may be, uh, you know, one way to that may be valuable, but I'd rather have been competing with other people. It's like a team sport. I was always looking for a team sport that I could be good at. Um, Never really found it, unfortunately. Chess. If I had played chess, if I had done chess, oh, it's not a fucking king. I thought that was my king. I don't know what I'm doing here. I should just resign. Oh, but I have more time than he does. So anyway, I don't know what I'm saying here. Um, oh my God. So what was I saying? Um, what was I talking about? What? How did I get talking about that? Competition, drumming. How did I win that? Competition, drumming. Well, I was talking about my programming jobs. I didn't really know what I was going on or what, and right, my computer science degree. Well, for whatever reason, you know, I studied computer science but I didn't, right, and I was saying that my anxiety, my mind is a slave to my anxiety and to, you could call it any number of things, anxiety, craving, desire. When I was studying at Princeton, um, so my whole life, I had discipline in certain things, but not in the, I didn't, it wasn't right discipline. If I don't know if that's a term in Buddhism, but I practiced the drums a lot, yeah, but I didn't need to practice the drums as much as I did. You know, what was the purpose of that? It was just for myself. It was selfish. vanity, whatever. If I had decided to become a drummer, yeah, that would have made sense. But and I did. I kind of thought about it a lot. I thought about it. I don't know why I didn't. I guess because I saw that I had, you know, maybe I should have. I thought that would have been kind of fun. But um, I could have become a professional drummer, sure. Um, but I had really good grades. I was the, valedictorian, so I wanted to go to Princeton. And yeah, I mean, I don't think they have a conservatory at Princeton, so I didn't even apply to any conservatories. I don't know why. I don't know why. I didn't think properly about it, about my life. And so anyway, I didn't have right discipline. I practiced the drums a lot. I did all these things, exercise, diet, but it was sort of really just coming from a kind of OCD. Just think of it that way. Oh, maybe I don't know how you want to analyze it, but I had a lot of discipline in certain areas, which was, good. Nobody's perfect, so I'm not going to, be hypercritical. Um, my discipline wasn't without its dark side, you could say, or its, yeah. Um, it was kind of obsessive. And I was very obsessive about certain things, um, like, securing my computer against, um, you know, viruses. Oh, fuck, he's going to take my rook. Okay, he didn't see that. Or, I spent untold hours. You know, I don't blame myself at all, really, because, look, I blame myself. Okay, I do blame myself for being, I don't know, stubborn and, you know, incorrigible. Um, but my parents shouldn't have let me spend, all day on the computer. That's unhealthy. That's just unhealthy. I don't know what they were thinking, really. Hmm, I don't know what he's thinking either. Um, yeah, I mean, I spent far too much time on the computer, and you know, my impulses, my yeah, my impulses were given free rein, for the most part. I mean, there were so oh fuck, why do I keep doing that? There's a chance he won't see. Yeah, okay, that's too obvious. Um, I don't know who I'm talking to. I hope you're not. You're probably getting pretty bored of listening to me talk about this shit, but it's more for myself. Um, that I'm doing this. So my discipline was not right discipline. I didn't do the chores. I didn't do, you know, that's the main thing. I didn't do, you know, I was disciplined in trying to improve myself and become the best uh, version of myself, which is kind of what a kid is supposed to do. But you know, the, that's one of the kid's jobs. But the kid should also do his chores. You know, so my life, my life was a little bit off balance. It wasn't. I wasn't. Shit. I like to. I was. I often think of it as like being on the wrong path. I mean, I kind of was on the wrong path. Like not the worst wrong path, but there were elements of wrongness in it. So, um, and I didn't know any better. I didn't. I mean, look, I knew that my parents wanted me to do the chores. Okay, sure, but I didn't know that. I was just. I think one of my cousins once said that I was a brat, a spoiled brat. I guess I kind of was a spoiled brat in some ways. Uh, but I was a kid. Children are innocent, right? I didn't have the fear of God. I didn't know that I should, you know, sort of listen to my parents, that I really, I didn't know how important that was. I didn't know what love was. I didn't know, you know, I don't know. Whatever the reasons, whatever the reasons, I was kind of on the wrong path. And I didn't have right discipline, the right kind of discipline and through as a kid, and I was just what do they call it? The In Buddhism, the like wrong tendencies. I fed my uh, what is it called? You know, not necessarily evil, but giving in to your base desires or your your base impulses, um, you know, uh, so so in a way, discipline and practice and work can be uh, a base desire too. You know, somebody can be working or appear to be working, but it's really just an expression of their obsessive, and in a way, obsessive thinking. OCD is a disease, sure, um, but it's also just you know uh, uh, immoral, um, because you're giving in to these thoughts that pull you, um, and you may not know any better, or you may not know how to fight them. So in that sense, you're innocent. Um, but in a way, it could be argued that you are, blameworthy for your obsessive thinking, or, Um, so so anyway, that's kind of, you know, I was complacent. I was lazy. Um, I didn't really know how to study. I only knew how to, I only listened to my, obsessive, um, desire for self-perfection, immortality even, um, you know, perfect health, uh, you know, of myself and my computer. Um, so I would research supplements and buy supplements and all that. And when in college, my health anxiety, and in a way, anxiety is a kind of moral failing as well. Although, you know, Jesus loves us and forgives us, because anxiety is, you know, it is an affliction that, look, it's ambiguous. It's ambiguous. We do have some control over ourselves, but sometimes these things can reach such a fever pitch, so strong, and you're stuck in this habit. You don't know how to escape it. You don't know how to, you know, get out of it. So I hope Jesus forgives us. Um, I hope we're forgiven. I hope we can be forgiven. Um, so so when I was in college, I did my work, but I didn't do it. Uh, I didn't. I read when I was a kid. I read books for pleasure, sort of, but even then, it was more for self-aggrandizement and self. It was more. It was still coming from the ego. I wanted to read this book so I could feel smart. Uh, I read this big book um, by Stephen Wolfram called A New Kind of Science. I didn't read the whole thing because it got kind of boring, but I had a bet with my friend that I could read the whole thing by Christmas time or something. And oh fuck, I didn't really enjoy reading it. Look, I don't know what kids do, what most kids do. You know, I spent a lot of time alone on the computer, which is not that healthy. In college, I didn't really know how to control my anxiety, my health anxiety, and it got the better of me. And so for that reason, I didn't go above and beyond in my studies. Um, so so I didn't really get into computer science in a way that I would now if I could go back. I would have really uh, I would have really taken advantage of my opportunity to study at the one of the premier institutions in the world, and I would have spent you know I would have devoted myself unreservedly to my studies, and gone above and beyond, and maybe done some independent research, or um, spent my free time studying, and maybe, yeah, had some kind of hobby, but the primary thing was study. And you know and studying can be for yourself. It's not only for your grades. um, you know when one studies, one asks questions, and you can ask any questions that you want. You can, not only the questions that that you're supposed to ask, or you're supposed to think about, right? And that's what independent research is about. I don't know if do you need uh, a a research appointment to do independent research? No, certainly not. Although I suppose it helps, um, or maybe it hurts. Maybe it's better to do it totally independently. I don't know why the system works the way that it does. You know. So anyway, uh, so I studied computer science not out of the other problem was that I was studying too many things. I was taking a lot of philosophy classes, math classes, because I had a lot of interests. Damn it. You know, but if I were to go back in time, I would have focused on one field, and gotten as deeply into that as I could. Um, so yeah, so and I didn't really get into right, and I would have uh, studied you know, when you are studying something, when you're getting into it, if you really love it, then you have to study all aspects of it, or you have to, I don't know. It's okay to focus on one thing. I kind of focused on, the part that I liked more, which was more abstract, theoretical, but in my opinion, um, well, now I'm kind of, if I were to go back in time, I would have studied the computer hardware more as well, because that's interesting, and the history, and all that. I've just you change and you learn things as you grow up, and you know the computer hardware is interesting, and if you really love computer science, then you will study, damn it, kind of, I would have, if I could have gone back in time, I would have gotten into the networking and you know, the hardware operating systems. I took the operating systems class. I didn't really understand all of it that well, you know. I didn't really strive to understand it, you know. Nowadays, I know how to study. You you sit down, you write. I know how to study. You sit down and you ask yourself questions until you feel like you understand it. You're like, okay, do I understand this? If not, you know, you just kind of keep digging and digging. The point is to process it, to internalize it, right? So uh, to say it in your own words. So you have to basically, write down everything you know, uh, in your own way. Uh, so writing or talking is an extremely useful studying tool, which I didn't know. I didn't know that, talking through something would be the best studying method. Um, I didn't know that. So the only way I knew how to study was I get it, I either get it or I don't get it, you know. Um, and, if I don't get it, then then I have to pretend that I get it actually, because I didn't want to admit that I had limitations or that I didn't believe, and it's actually kind of makes sense, if I didn't want to believe that there were certain things that I just wasn't smart enough to understand. And why should I? I shouldn't. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't believe that. I believe that I can understand anything that I if I study it, you know, pretty much. If I work hard enough, you can learn anything, right? And so if you don't know, if you believe that you can learn anything, uh, but you actually don't know how to learn it, you don't know the, you know, correct studying methods. So if you believe that, um, you either get it or you don't. My studying method was basically I read it several times. I remember I had a hard time with the physics, and I kind of just would try to read the passage over and over again until I got it. I didn't go to the office hours, you know. I didn't, I did work with my friends. I did study with my friends, which was good, but with them, I kind of just pretended that I understood everything. I didn't know how to admit that I didn't understand anything because I didn't know how to, well, I should have admitted that I didn't understand, and maybe someone would have helped me understand. Somebody, if I had a tutor, you know, they may have, if somebody had taught me, maybe I think probably some, you know, somebody did teach those study methods in high school and stuff. I think some teachers probably did. Yeah, I mean, I remember my English teacher. I'm in Czech. Oh, it's not my turn. I remember my English teacher did say that, oh, it was important to. I think she said it was important to write things out, maybe by hand. Uh, that writing things helps you internalize them. Writing things out, writing something down helps you internalize it. I should have taken the rook because now he's going to block it. Oh, no, he's not. Man, this guy's bad. You know, if you're listening to this, which you're probably not, I don't think anybody's going to listen to this, but this is really helping me to, you know, better than a therapist, really, because I'm just, I'm working on expressing some of these things which I maybe haven't found the truth with some of these things. I haven't uh, expressed them, haven't found the right words to express them. You know, and now I'm finding some of the words which you know, to tell this story. So I don't know why I did that. You know, it takes a lot of tries to find the right words, to find the truth. Um, so I didn't have the right study methods, or I didn't know how to use them. Or you know, I didn't. And so if I didn't understand something, I just went into a state of denial. Right? I mean, it makes sense. That's a natural reaction. If you don't know how to solve a problem, then most people will just deny that there is a problem. You know, so you know, maybe I just denied that there was a problem because it would have hurt my ego. It hurt my ego to admit that I didn't understand something. Sure, that's true too. You know, I couldn't admit that there was something which I didn't understand on the first try. Um, I didn't, I didn't know how to work hard. I mean, look, I had worked hard practicing my drums. I had worked hard on certain things, but you know, I did know how to work hard in a way, but not in the right way. Just not in the right way. Maybe I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it was about working hard on things that somebody else is telling you to do, you know? So getting into uh, a task that somebody else has given you. That may be the difference. I knew how to work hard on a task that I have given myself, you know, but I didn't know how to work hard on my schoolwork. Uh, on the other, I did work hard on some things in my schoolwork, like writing. I would spend hours writing essays, you know, but again, I didn't know how, it was just about not knowing how to work smart. Working smart is more important than working hard, right? So I think I did know how to work hard, but not smart. And so I didn't know how to solve my studying problems. Anyway, I'm rambling here. You get the picture. You get the fucking picture, right? I don't need to keep going on and on and on. Okay, I hope you get the picture. I hope. Um, Thank you. Thank you for listening. I know it's probably very painful and boring. Maybe it's just hilarious. You probably find this hilarious. I ask that you find it that you try to see the humor in it. So anyway, I got good grades, but I didn't really get into it. And I've never actually, yeah, I don't know if I've ever really gotten into learning properly. If I've ever really uh, gotten into it. Got, I've I always loved learning for sure. I mean, I loved, I don't know. I mean, I just think about my dad, and I think he learned a lot more as a kid than I did. Like, he says he got into planes and learned all these different planes and stuff. I was into dinosaurs. I was into certain things. I was into dinosaurs. What else was I into? But mostly, I just wanted to play computer games. I just wanted to play games, you know? So I don't think I was actually that, uh, did, you know, I loved learning. I mean, I taught myself to program. So, you know, I did, and I got into that for sure. But then I reached a point where I reached a ceiling, kind of, like, because I was doing certain projects. I wrote like a chess engine, but it didn't work that well. And I didn't really know how to, I knew how to write code, but I didn't know how to organize, you know, a, a larger project, like a chess game is kind of a larger project. And once you start to write something of that size, it's hard to organize it, to keep everything in your head at once, right? So you need to learn strategies for organizing it, and that's, maybe this is what I need to talk about, you know, what we need to think about. Um, so anyway, I'm going to take a break here because I've been going on for long enough. Now, how do I pause this?